pretty sure they used the word proud. I mean, they were just, they're cutting down the lungs of the planet, and they're so proud of this creation. So I was wondering if you would accept or allow for cannibalism to extend, to, not both human self-destruction and self-destruction, vis-a-vis the ecosystem. Because as I'm sure you're aware, the trees are the lungs of the planets, or plants are the lungs of the planets. And anyway, I'm kind of rambling on, but that article about how they just mowed down these thousands of acres of rainforest and put up shopping malls and were proud of that. They were proud of that achievement. Would you accept that as another variant of cannibalism?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't, you know, it's a little, like I said, capitalism sort of leads to a kind of a slavery. So in that sense, I would. But I guess the fact that people want civilization and progress, I can't, people are always pooping on it. But I mean, people like malls. I mean, you know what I mean? People like McDonald's. People like this shit. So I mean, part of it is you have to concede to is that that's what people want. They want a life that has these conveniences in it. So some of that is, whatever. Yeah, that's just human beings getting their fair share. So how can we? I mean, I can't really live in this, aluminum can convenient world I live in, and sit there and say, well, why are other people not entitled to it? And if it's all so bad, if it's wrong to want it or to live in it, well, then why don't I sacrifice and live in some darker world like you're living in, where there's no lights or anything, and you have to like put lightning bugs in a jar or something, um, you know. But I get your point. I mean, yeah, but I guess I wouldn't call that cannibalism. I'd just call that consumption. We're consuming the earth, and there's too many of us, and so we're going to consume it into a piece of shit. I mean, it's going to be a holy piece of cheese, and it's going to crumble on us, or however you want to put it. We're going to make it unsustainable, and so then it's going to be uncomfortable. But I don't know if we could kill ourselves that way. I mean, I think we have to do something more radical to actually kill ourselves.
Yeah, that okay. Yeah, so I did think I was probably stretching the definition of the term maybe a little too far there. But it does seem that the human race, perhaps total nuclear war notwithstanding, is just irrepressible. I mean, it just won't go down. I was watching this video of this comedian Joe Rogan. You probably know him from Fear Factor, and he was talking about how uh, people are basically this bacteria with legs. I know that's a Bill Hicks term, but people are basically this virus that no matter what you do, I mean, wars, they just come right back. Plagues, they just come right back. And a good person who illustrated this was Michael Rupert. I don't know if you watched any of his collapse video, but he has this graph that basically goes from, I don't know, the time of Christ up through the current day, and it ramps up dramatically with the discovery of oil. But the thing that's interesting about this graph is he shows right at the height of the bubonic plague, which I guess was in the 16th century. I can't quite remember, but it just humanity, even in the height of all this biological devastation, humanity just took a short dip and then just bounced right back. And you uh, look at like the devastated cities of Europe after World War II. I mean, Belgium, France, and Germany were just laid waste. They were just a pile of bricks. You look at them now, it's like you can't even tell there was a war. And Japan was leveled, bombed, leveled, burned. You look at it today, you can't even tell that war ever happened. So it just seems like no matter what, it doesn't matter. Plague, war, burning villages, pogroms. Humanity just can't be repressed. It can't be put down. Uh,
Well, it can
ra-
be, but it can be. We just haven't found the right bug yet or the right rock. But Obviously, the point is, for me, what that demonstrates is just that we will declare anything acceptable. So it really doesn't matter. I mean, you could kill 6 million Jews, you could kill 6 billion Jews. It doesn't matter. We can just change. I mean, it doesn't matter how bad we make it, how dismal the circumstance. Human beings will still do this stupid thing. I mean, even when they were living in the worst of the Black Plague, I mean, they're still having kids. Like, yeah, I'm going to have a kid and bring him into this shitty world and to live this shitty life. And, what the hell?
Yeah, I think that's one of your greatest set of points in your videos about responsibility to sentient beings and not bringing a sentient being into this world unless it can be, properly cared for, properly educated, properly, loved, like all the things that you would need to produce uh, a functional. I hate to use the word productive because it seems that if anything we're all too productive. But anyway, your point about it's a tremendous responsibility bringing a sentient being into the world, and so many people are, they're just abnegating that responsibility totally. So I think that is a great point that you made in your videos, and it's one of the things I really like about those videos.
Yeah, what is weird just how people think it's such an entitlement and they somehow think it has something to do with them. That the them they're creating, the thing they're creating is somehow them. And it's just not. The thing they're creating is me, or it could be lots of different kinds of things, but it's not going to be them. And for people to be that stupid to think that they're going to breed true, it's just so so stupid.
Yeah, and I don't know that, this little Stickam debate or, the videos on YouTube are going to do anything uh, in the way of attenuating that or or let alone bringing it to a halt, but it's definitely a point worth making. It's interesting though how hostile people get when you bring up this idea, just the idea. You just start kicking around the idea that, hey, unless you've got sufficient financial resources, unless you've got a stable home, unless you are a functional as opposed to dysfunctional human being, you don't have crack pipes littering the floor of your house and alcohol bottles on the kitchen table, unless you have a stable psychological profile, good median income, and you're equipped to bring children into this world. It's amazing how bitter, fiercely hostile people get to the idea that, well, maybe they shouldn't be, maybe they shouldn't be procreating. People, you're right. I mean, they do view it as some kind of a right, like I don't know, like something that's should be codified in the Declaration of Independence or something like that. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's like
that's a
more of a right than owning a pet. It's just so funny that there's more laws regulating pets, how we than farming pets than there are laws regulating how people grow humans.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just dripping with irony there. And I know you came up with this idea, this proposition of what were they called? Vouchers, I think, which I thought was a pretty well reasoned proposition. It was certainly well thought out. It would certainly help to ameliorate the problem. But it's amazing. I've watched a number of the YouTube videos that you produced and the responses to those videos, and it seems like anytime somebody anytime somebody even mildly broaches this topic, immediately they get the eugenicist label, And I'm sure you've heard that quote that as soon as somebody drops the Nazi card, the discussion is over in, like 3 more posts. Well, obviously, eugenics, a la Goebbels and the Nazis. I mean, I guess it's still burned into our memory, and obviously they went a little bit too far with that. But that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be there shouldn't be some form of means testing or psychological means testing or financial means testing before people are allowed to bring a sentient being onto this planet. I mean, I I don't see the great offense in that. I don't see the great diminishment of liberties and civil rights in that proposition. So,
Yeah, no, and very intelligent people too don't get it, and you're just like, I get stunned by that. It's like Remy, who was in the room earlier. He's a smart guy, but like he doesn't even get it. He thinks like human beings should be living in the Congo, and it's like, no, I think it's perfectly rational to say there's certain places on Earth that are like living on Mars, and it's just impossible. It's just way too much infrastructure, way too hard to make life livable in those environments, and human beings just shouldn't be living there. I mean, it's not that complicated. Whether you're still here or not was irrelevant. I wasn't talking behind your back. I'm just saying, I was just using you as an example. Um, you know, that they're just, why do people need to be doing that? Why does the human race need to be fighting logic? you know Damn the torpedoes when it comes to every stupid idiotic thing in their head. I mean, why? There are dumb plans, there are stupid ideas, and just why can't we call some of them that and just say, yeah, let's not do that, it's a dumb waste. We can use the resources so much better if we move the population over here where they can actually live a life.
yeah, and of course, I mean the real hot button issue, the political hand grenade, the sociological hand grenade that absolutely nobody wants to go near, not even Al Gore, or not even the most radical environmentalists even want to touch with a 22.5-foot pole, is of course overpopulation. And you see, I mean, boy, there's so many facets to this argument, but I'll just take just one for example. The people who are in favor of, say, genetically modified foods. Now, there's a real crank out there. His name is Lyndon LaRouche. I just watch him from time to time, but I don't don't associate me with the LaRouches. But his idea is, you create, and of course Monsanto, the corporate Goliath and Leviathan, want uh, GM foods because they say not only can we feed everyone on Earth now, but we can put billions of more people on the Earth, and wouldn't that be great? And I think, and here again, I mean, a number of your videos touched upon this and really hit the nail just squarely on the head. The quality of life is not improved by adding zeros, to the population count. But it seems to be, I don't know what's wrong with these people. I mean, are they deranged? I mean, they obviously have a modicum of scientific literacy, a modicum of numeric literacy. They understand, or I presume they understand, what exponential growth is. And do they ever think about the quality of life? What is it going to mean to everybody on this planet if we put another billion people on it, or 2 billion, or 3, which is, everybody I hear talking now, this one of the head guys at Lawrence Livermore, what's his name, Dr. Ed Moses, he runs the NIF. He's talking about, and he's not the only one, about how there's going to be 3 billion more people on the Earth by 2050. And he just says it matter-of-factly. He just tosses the figure out there. We got 6.8 billion now. We're going to have 10 billion by 2050. And, we've got to come up with all these new forms of energy and all these GM foods to feed all these people. And, oh my God, why? Okay, that's one approach. That's one extreme approach. You can go to these extreme lengths to feed and house and care for all these people, or maybe we could talk about rational growth limits for once, and maybe get this procreation monster under control. I don't know, but the instant.
But Remy, okay, you're getting long enough speech there.
Yeah.
Remy, I don't know what all this hostility is about. But no, we are responsible, Remy. We can do something about everything. We have power. We're not powerless. So that's just a lame excuse, in my opinion. This is a controllable